thank you for your question. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Giles from Flower Mound, and my question is, well, first of all, as a doctor, I'm sure you understand that we do need health care reform, and our website says so. And I think that's something we can all agree on. My question to you is, I hear a lot about stopping bills, but you've been a representative of mine since 2002. When the Republicans controlled Congress and the Senate, why didn't you introduce and pass
Well, for those who have been paying attention, I have introduced major healthcare legislation, particularly dealing with physician workforce issues, every year that I've been here. I've introduced legislation to put some fairness into the Medicare reimbursement system, and certainly medical justice reform that we've accomplished here in Texas has been a big part of the themes that I've pushed. The Republicans, I'm not supposed to really talk about this because my leadership doesn't like it, but it's easier to poke holes at someone else than it is to defend your own product. We actually have a bill, which I participated in writing, and we worked late into the night, many nights during the spring, to have something that would be, you can't fight something with nothing was the thought, and we needed a bill. Now, there have been two problems, one technical and one logistical. The technical is that because the Democrats have so bogged down the Congressional Budget Office and the bill writing part of the House office, we can't get anything out of that.
Post it on your website.
Congressional Budget Office won't take up our product. Obviously, you can't come out with a bill if you don't know what it's going to cost and what your coverage numbers are going to be. It wouldn't pass any sort of giggle test. The other thing, though, is my leadership has made, and it's correctly pointed out, this thing is imploding under its own weight right now, and one of the political calculations is if someone else is self-destructing, you don't want to get in between them and their weapon. So, I can argue the validity of that one way or the other. Suffice it to say, there are ideas on the Republican side. There are good ideas. I've reached out to the Blue Dog Democrats. I went to Henry Waxman's office in January, for crying out loud. I said, Henry, I gave up a 25-year medical career to be here when this happened. I don't know if I'll definitely be a no vote. Let's talk about some of the things that are going to be in this bill. He thanked me very much for showing up, and that's the last I heard of it. So that was the response I got when I went to the other side, hand in hand, said, you guys won, you control all the marbles, let's work together on this. You have three Democratic chairmen, Henry Waxman, George Miller, and Pete Stark, all from California, all elected in 1974 after the Nixon resignation. This is something they have wanted to do their entire political careers. And this product that you see today, HR 3200, is the product of their wish list. Now, if we can get back in September, because of what you all have done in slowing this thing down, if we can come back in September and talk about how do we solve a problem for 8 million people who have pre-existing conditions and have their insurance taken away when they get a tough diagnosis? How do we solve that problem? Could we solve that problem? The answer is yes. We wouldn't necessarily have to break the budget to do it. We wouldn't necessarily have to break the deficit. So the real question is, when we get back in September, will we be willing to ignore our leadership and work together and deliver something that would actually work for the American people? And that's what remains to be seen.
2002 through 2006, you had control.
Hey, you had your turn. Fight back. Go back to
Your
Flower
solutions then.
Come on. We know what was Flower Mound. We don't need Flower Mound up there.
My name is Julie Kirkland.
Hey, can we turn up the mic there, David? You guys standing in front of the speaker, want to move back a little bit?
Good morning. My name is Julie Kirkland, and I live in Aubrey, Texas. And this is my question. It's a simple yes or no question. Will you vote for a health care bill that will use my tax dollars to fund abortions?
No.
Recently of Denton, but now of Corinth, Texas. And I have a two-part question, if I may. First of all, I have read, and I'd like to know if it's true, that we have a shortage right now of about 400,000 doctors in this country, and that there's only really a very small percentage of Americans who are not covered under some form of insurance. Yet if we bring those uninsured people all under a government-run program, we're going to have a real shortage of doctors, which will result in rationed health care. And as one who is now in the senior citizens ranks, I'm pretty concerned about that. Do I have reason to be concerned, Congressman?
Short answer is yes.
My second question is, what can we who are here today to show our support of our country, of you, and our reluctance to have socialized medicine, what can we do to help you when you get back to Congress, and what's going to happen when you all go back in September?
Well, remember, the focus of this activity will go to the Senate side almost immediately we get back. I know our two senators are basically good on this, but I wouldn't hesitate to let them hear from you. And then keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on the House. Keep the pressure on the Senate. Don't let up on this, because you gained too much ground in the last 3 months. Again, at the end of May, I didn't think it was possible for us to stop anything. We passed cap and trade out of committee. It was a horrible bill. Pushing through the House by twisting arms and cracking heads and spending dollars on people's districts. I was afraid the same thing was going to happen on health care. I don't have that fear today. I've got great hope for what we're going to be able to do when we get back.
Here in Denton, and according to Nancy, what is her name?
You mean Miss Tight Eyes?
This is a mom. We look like a mom. We're your constituents, and I want to know if this is a mom. Where is Tony Soprano?
Hey! Woo!
This doesn't look like a mob. This looks like home.
Renewables and energy, you're on that committee, correct? My company's kind of is a small wind company, and we do big wind and small wind, but my question is, the bill that was passed in the spring on like small wind support and small grid implementation, is there new legislation to support that and implement that, and how well is that going?
Well, as you know, we did pass a bill on the House side that, yes, arguably were there some good things in there for wind energy, perhaps so, but there were a lot of things that were just absolutely unacceptable. So the big question is, what's going to happen over on the Senate side? And I can't tell you. Right now, they don't want to touch it. They saw what happened after the House passed the bill. I mean, I came home on the day after we passed that bill for the 4th of July recess. I go to my Keller Town Hall. I missed the last plane out of Washington that night, and I had to get up early and arrive here just in time to get down there. And people were focused on what we had just done the night before. I wondered if anyone was paying attention. I needn't have wondered. People were paying attention. People were concerned. So you had members of Congress who got talked into voting for that bill, even though their district might have been opposed to it. They're walking in their 4th of July parade somewhere behind the American Legion and just in front of the Boy Scouts. And people are yelling from the side, "Next time, read the bill!" They came back to Washington there, and literally, you could see that there was fear in their faces. They had heard from their constituents, and I don't know that the Senate wants to replicate that. So what happens going forward with cap and trade or energy, renewable energy, or a comprehensive energy bill, I can't tell you. I can tell you politically, it's become a hot potato, and the Senate has never been known for its courage, as I outlined to you before. We'll just have to wait and see what they do. But I appreciate what you're doing, and what you're doing is important. I would like anything, to have a residential wind generator at my house and sell electricity back to Encore. I would like that very much. Not everyone can do that, but at the same time, it's your company and the advancement of technology that you're working on that's going to make that possible. If I could just convince the Louisville City Council that things aren't that noisy and they're not that dangerous if you're a bird. Okay. If you've got a question, make your way up here to the corner, and we'll try to proceed in an orderly fashion. Eric, apparently you have a line formed up behind you, so be cognizant of that.